But when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children. You know what I mean? Puffy is good, but Wu-Tang is the best. Okay? I want y'all to know that this is ODB and I love you all. Peace.
Oh, I see you feeling yourself. That type of pride ain't good for your health. Come on, as you wish. It didn't have to go down like this. I'm done talking, you didn't listen. I'll say it louder with my dish. I'm the attitude adjuster. Let's see if you tough enough to back up all that stuff. Young buster buckle when these knuckles touch you. Hey, don't get fooled by the grain. I don't care what nobody say. Stand in my way, that's
Y'all didn't know I was a Wu-Tang fan, did you? So, for this week, we got some interesting picks of the week. Hatman's got a classic. I'm going to talk about a black man. And then you'll kind of get the Wu-Tang references as to why I'm even bringing it up. Plus, we got other crazy stuff going on as well. Specifically, Star Wars regrets from people who starred in the most recent movies. Yeah. Should be interesting. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and yeah, I kind of hate The Last Jedi too.
Welcome to Micah and The Hatman Live. But yes, I do advocate that Wu-Tang is indeed for the children. And actually, you know what? Before I get to that, though, we're going to let Hatman start. So, Hatman, what was your pick of the week?
Well, I kind of had picks, but they all related together. It's the classics of the Indiana Jones trilogy. And yes, I say trilogy because this is the old box set DVDs that came out however long ago they came out, when they all got released on DVD at once. And
yeah, probably a good thing there was never a fourth movie, right?
I won't say anything about that. But anyway, I don't own any other Indiana Jones movies.
Just because there are none.
Or the Young Indiana Jones Adventures. I do not own that at all. Anyway, God, is it heretical for me to say that I do not like I do not like fucking Temple of Doom?
What?
I don't really like it that much.
Heresy.
I sincerely do not like it that much. Like it's easily the weakest of the trilogy, and I don't know.
Really? You really think it's the weakest?
I don't like what?
I mean, I don't like Short Round either, but even so.
Yeah, I don't. And you. Short Round is the best part of that movie, though. I'll say that.
Kalima.
Yeah, prepare to make Kali Molaram in hell. But you and all of India hates it. But no. So my power ranking for the Indiana Jones trilogy is Last Crusade, Raiders, and Temple of Doom. I do like Last Crusade more than Raiders.
I can't really rank with any one or over the other, to be honest. Well, my favorite is Last Crusade, but I don't really rank like I'm sorry, not Last Crusade, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Goodness, no, I rank Last Crusade and Temple of Doom pretty even.
Wow, I'm surprised. But yeah, I love Last Crusade. Last Crusade is so good. It's got so many good lines from Sean Connery in it.
That is true.
Son, they got us. Yeah, it's got a ton of really good moments, and then the end of it it's really, really well done. I really like what they did with the Holy Grail itself. making it really humble looking. I love that. But of course, Raiders being the classic, and I actually did get the opportunity once to see this on the big screen. And let me tell you guys, if at all possible, yes, go see this in a theater. If they're showing a 35 millimeter print of it, go see it. It's great. It is really, really awesome, especially the opening of the arc scene. Holy shit. That is incredible in a theater. Like it's frightening actually. It really is. But God, what can I say about these movies? Like they're good. Like I know that they were just trying to be tributes to B movies of the old B movies of like the 50s and whatnot.
The old like pulp adventures and stuff like that too.
Yeah, but at the same time, like they're genuinely good. Like they're not schlocky.
No, not at all.
It's like the
fun.
perfect version of these sorts of movies. They're great.
I think it's safe to say that of all the trilogies that have ever existed, Indiana Jones is one of the most fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, fucking bullwhips. They made bullwhips relevant. That's something, and single-handedly killed the fedora look too.
Yes,
because nobody else after Harrison Ford can pull off a fedora anymore.
Indeed,
just nobody. That's it. It's over. But yeah, I love these movies so much. They're classics, and I swear to God, if there's ever any sort of fuckery by George Lucas or Steven Spielberg to edit these movies,
don't encourage them.
Like that one episode of South Park.
Don't even mention
where they
it to
replace
them.
all the natives and raiders with Ewoks.
That truly would be the worst timeline.
That would be. That would absolutely be the worst possible.
Substitute the Nazis with Ewoks.
Replace the Nazis with walkie-talkies.
Oh jeez.
But yes, these movies are great. Harrison Ford is great, and damn, I wish archaeology was actually this awesome.
Yes, I agree completely. All right, my pick of the week. I actually went back and forth on what to do for my pick of the week, but this seemed like the most fun because it's so against like what you would expect from the giant metalhead. But I actually do like some old school hip hop. And one of my favorite old school hip hop albums is 36 Chambers by the Wu-Tang Clan. And that's not my pick of the week. My pick of the week is Leroy Smith from Tekken 7. Who is basically Wu-Tang the character. He is a half-blind black man with white dreadlocks who owns a pit bull named Sugar, who can beat you with his cane, and is a Wing Chun expert.
I love this dude, by the way.
Yeah.
I love this dude and his dog.
Yes. Sugar is the best.
Sugar is awesome. I've got a buddy who has a dog that looks just like Sugar. I showed him Leroy and he was like, I have a new mane.
Yeah, pretty much. Like everybody loves Sugar's big dumb look because he is just a big dumb pit bull. And if you've never owned a pit bull or you've never been around pit bulls are awesome because they are just big dumb dogs. They're big old dummies that walk around with a giant smile on their face. They're hilarious. I love it.
They will occasionally flop over until you give them food.
Yes, they are amazing. I love pit bulls. And
yes, I do too.
Yeah. It is so Leroy, his story is that back in the day, there was a gang shootout. Actually, part of the reason I love this character, his backstory is very
that
similar.
Sounds familiar.
His backstory is very similar to Elijah Wallace from Englewood. Very similar. Kind of makes me want an Englewood crossover with Tekken. Kind of makes me want to like tell Harada he can use Elijah in Tekken. Which, by the way, Elijah would be a badass character in Tekken.
Might even be OP.
Yeah, just a touch. But anyway, the character basically, he spent half his life in Hong Kong, became a master of Wing Chun, and his play style is basically that of a counter character, because he has two parries. He has a high and mid parry that he can use that has a counter right behind it, and it can parry anything. It can parry unblockables, can parry rage arts, the whole 9 yards. The only thing he can't parry is a grab. And he has a low parry from his sort of, not really crane stance, but it's a, I don't even remember what the name of it is, but a different stance where if you throw a low at him, he will kick you in the leg and call you weak. So, but the instant that I saw this character, the first thing I thought was, this is the Wu-Tang Clan character, basically. He is Wu-Tang made flesh. And as such, I had to play him. And to say the least, I'm very happy with this character. He's a lot of fun. I love counter characters. I'm a big fan of like geese in the game. Like counter characters and wrestlers in Tekken are like the two things I love the most. Because for those who don't know, my two favorite characters in Tekken of all time are King and Armor King. Laughs and Jaguar. So, needless to say though, the character's a lot of fun. He's got a lot of really good combos. He doesn't seem like he has a weakness, except for one thing, and it's pressure characters. So, even then, if you get a good solid parry on them, they're in trouble. My favorite moment, though, I think in the entire thing, was I played an online match. And I went up against somebody playing as Negan. And he tried to do his rage art. And I parried Lucille. Called Negan weak. And then beat the shit out of him. That might be one of the coolest things I've ever done in a fighting game. So yeah. Wu-Tang is for the children. So if you're a fighting game fan and you want a good time, pick up Leroy as DLC, try him out, and listen to 36 Chambers of Shaolin by Wu-Tang Clan while you're playing him. And you will have some fun. I certainly did, so. Alright. I think that's really all I have to say on that. So let's go ahead and move on to our first topic of the day. Richard Jewell. Hatman, have you heard about the controversy surrounding this movie?
No. Can't say I have.
Do you know who Richard Jewell is?
No.
So, Hatman is behind the times. So, Richard Jewell was a security guard way back in the day. When was this? I'm trying to find the exact date. But the film stars Paul Walter Hauser as Richard Jewell, also has Sam Rockwell, Kathy Bates, and Olivia Wilde in it as well. Oh, we got a donation here. Asami Ryuichi Yamazaki donates $5, says, thoughts on Fakuram from Tekken 7. I like his play style, obviously, because I love Muay Thai. I hate the tattoos that he has. They make his design too busy. You should really just ditch the tattoos. The scars were enough. So that's the only issue that I really have with him. Other than that, he looks like he's going to be a lot of fun to play. The fact that his power crush is a head kick and can lead to stun combos is nasty. I'm glad that I'm definitely glad they didn't bring back Bruce instead. I never liked Bruce. But anyway, Richard Jewell was a police officer, security guard, and basically he was the one who spotted or discovered a backpack filled with 3 pipe bombs during the Centennial Olympic Park bombing down in Atlanta. And basically, he alerted the cops, helped evacuate the area, saved a lot of people, and then the media decided to try and destroy him. Because the FBI had him as a suspect. Which, by the way, oftentimes that'll happen in a preliminary case when you're trying to put together all the things, is that sometimes the person that reported it, they list as a suspect just to cover all their bases. Which I believe was this, because they basically blew the whole thing out of proportion. Yeah, never officially charged, but the FBI thoroughly publicly searched his home twice. I'm reading from Wikipedia here. Questioned his associates, investigated his background, and maintained 24-hour surveillance of him. The pressure began to ease only after Jewell's attorneys hired an ex-FBI agent to administer a polygraph, which Jewell passed. So, it came to a point where the U.S. attorney actually had to write a letter formally clearing him because of how insane it had got. And he filed several libel cases. But a lot of this happened in the media. And the media tried to crucify the man. And the controversy surrounding this is mostly because the media doesn't like it when the media looks bad. And this movie makes the media look very, very bad. Because what the media did to Richard Jewell was they took a man who was lauded as a hero and they drug him through the mud just because they could, just to show how powerful they are.
I mean, it's like, well, not quite to the level of it, but you remember Ken Bone?
Yes. Ken Bones is this nice dude, but because he said something about Jennifer Lawrence's butthole once on Reddit, he must be destroyed.
Well, Trayvon Martin.
Oh, there's that too.
He said Trayvon Martin should have attacked George Zimmerman, and
yeah,
oops.
And because of that, he must be destroyed. But here's the libel cases that were put together. And this might sound like a certain Nick Sandman. Richard Jewell versus Piedmont College. Richard Jewell versus NBC. Jewell sued NBC News for the statement made by Tom Brokaw. The speculation is that the FBI is close to making the case. They probably have enough to arrest him right now, enough to prosecute him, but you always want to have enough to convict him as well. There are still some holes in the case. So they paid him $500,000 for that in a settlement. The New York Post, he sued them for $15 million in damages. And then got a settlement for an undisclosed amount. He sued Cox Enterprises. Same thing. Settlement because they didn't want to go to court. CNN as well. To his credit, though, this was at a time where people didn't want to defend the media, where a lot of people were like, yeah, the media sucks, because he was on Saturday Night Live. I actually remember that. Because, yeah, they asked him if he was responsible for the deaths of Mother Teresa and I think Princess Di. So, But he is a prime example of how bad the media can be, and Clint Eastwood, a conservative director, is doing something that, yeah. Real quick, Serena throws in a buck, says, do you know where I can find an editor for my comic script? I'm almost done, but I need someone to do double check. No, you can't do it. You still got stuff to edit for me. Because Hatman is supposed to be otherwise occupied, another person that can do it who has editing services is Professor Geek, who will be willing to do it for a fee. So I'd reach out to him. Hatman still has to edit 3 nights.
Yes.
I'll spare you the shaming. For now.
This time, at least.
So needless to say, though, that is the controversy here. And why this will go down as a controversial film is because it is making the media and the government not out to be the good guys. Because the FBI really screwed the pooch on this one. He obviously was not anywhere related to this sort of thing. And they put too many resources into investigating him. And the media looks bad too. You look at the networks he sued, they're the same people who are causing problems now. Some of the same people that Richard Jewell sued are the ones that Nick Sandman and the Covington kids are suing. So,
I mean, it's kind of the opposite of, the big Oscar-worthy, quote-unquote, movies about the press and journalism that we've gotten in the last few years, like The Post and, what was the one about Boston Globe and the Catholic scandal? Fuck.
I don't even remember.
I forget the name of it now. It was just right on the fucking tip of my brain. Chat's gonna know it, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were big ones, basically, in praise of the press. And now you have one that says, actually, no, the press is kind of bullshit sometimes. Nope. How dare they? How dare anyone criticize our holy institution?
Yeah. Exactly.
Fuck them.
Big time fuck them.
Fuck 'em.
Alright, let's go ahead and move on. So, the Game Awards. This is a thing that happened. I already discussed the communism thing on a video on my channel, so if you're curious about my thoughts on that, just go there and watch it. I was pretty disgusted by it. So, let's go ahead and bring up the winners. I think that there wasn't a lot of what I would say coups. There wasn't a lot of big shocks. I think that the games that we thought should probably win won, except the big shocker was Game of the Year. So, Game of the Year, I think everybody expected it to be Death Stranding. Because even though I really like Death Stranding, it is sort of the video game equivalent of Oscar bait, in a sense. And Sekiro won. I was shocked. I was downright shocked. Now, I'm happy that it won, though, for one particular reason. Miyazaki, the developer of that game, has 0 Game of the Year awards from the Game Awards on his shelf. 0. So, he has been developing some of the greatest video games of all time every other year. From Dark Souls to Bloodborne to Dark Souls 3 and now to this. Man, it really, really, really is awesome for him. So that was a cool moment, getting to see him finally getting the the recognition he deserves. Honestly, like I was so happy for him. I legitimately I like think like that was the one that was kind of a really good feel good moment in a lot of ways if you think about it. Wow, I'm actually getting a little misty eyed even thinking about just how hard he works at making really good games. You know, the my pick though was Resident Evil 2. I was kind of hoping that was going to be the winner because it really is an amazing video game. But yeah, so that was your Game of the Year winner. Action Game Winner of the Year makes complete sense. Devil May Cry 5. As much as I like some of the other ones on the list, especially Gears 5, DMC 5 was downright incredible. Excuse me. Sekiro also got Best Action Adventure. Control getting art direction, I don't get. Audio design went to Modern Warfare. I have seen streams of it. The audio design is very good. Community support, I don't even know what that even meant. It wasn't exactly very well defined, which is something the Game Awards really need to work on. But Destiny 2 won it. Content Creator of the Year, I've never heard of Shroud, so I don't care. Best Esports Coach, I don't know who Zonic is, so I don't care. Mostly because like the only esports I follow are the fighting game stuff. You know, I'm a big Evo fan, you know, and I'll watch like Tekken World Tour and stuff like that. So, Esports Game of the Year went to LOL again. I'm gonna actually skip past all that stuff because yeah, they don't even do like fighting game dudes. So unless it's a furry and they feel the need to score progressive points. Luigi's Mansion winning family game doesn't really surprise me. Smash Ultimate very much deserved to win fighting game of the year, I think. The only other game on this list that I think like really competed for really, really high in quality was Samurai Showdown. MK11 has declined in quality since it was released, and they really kicked their fans in the nuts with Sindel. So, yeah, Kojima actually only walked out with one victory. And, well, technically two. No, three, I'm sorry. So the statement that Disco Elysium took away the awards with 3 is actually completely incorrect. They tied Death Stranding. Because Death Stranding, Mads Mikkelsen won Best Performance. And then then they got Best Score and they got Best Direction. So, which again, that's deserved too, because Kojima is legitimately a very good director. Like, the vision that he has for a project is going to be what you get. You know, there's not a lot of meddling, and then if it is, you know, it's kind of obvious when it's there. So, yeah, and Death Stranding though had like 2 people nominated, both Mads and Norman Reedus, but Mads in that game does really steal the show. So, needless to say, though, I think that not really a lot of controversy there in the picks. The most controversial moment was the Disco Elysium people thanking the purveyors, the creators of a genocidal philosophy for their award, and then Kotaku promoting it. That was disgusting. And I said this in my video, and I'll say this again. If you get offended by somebody quoting Mein Kampf, you should be just as offended as people promoting the Communist Manifesto. Darth Bobcat donates $2, says, flying tonight, but Mary Weeb Cringemas. So, I'm very tempted to play Metal Gear Solid 3 and kill communism. But yeah, Hatman, your thoughts? Was there anybody that you think should have won that didn't win?
I did not pay attention to it because honestly, I have stopped giving that much of a damn about video game award shows. Especially after the Sonic Fox bullshit last year.
Yeah, that was very childish of him. Not to mention, I don't think he should have won. He's really good, But that was the same year that Little Majin had his moment at EVO. And given that Tekken is dominated by Korean and Saudi players, the fact that an American did as good as he did with a character that's not top tier, I think speaks much louder, you know. Not to mention, he's such a humble guy. But they made the progressive move, and it pissed a lot of people off. So, but anyway. Oh, Serena donates $1, says, can we talk about the new Xbox console? Are they getting a PC console or just a fridge? I'm expecting the next Xbox X console to be called Xbox Triple H, now with 4K titties. Actually sounds kind of awesome. Somewhere the creators of Dead or Alive are going, ooh, I like the sound of that. Though I think the most recent Dead or Alive runs in 4K, so that's on PC though. But yeah. I think that the most interesting thing that came out of this was a rumor. And the rumor is that after the success of Death Stranding, that Konami is considering doing a co-production of Silent Hills. That's kind of huge if you think about it, because if this is true, it completely changed the way that Konami looked at Kojima. It's almost as if it's true, they basically said, "Oh shit, what have we given up?" You know. What? No reaction? Hatman, you wanted Silent Hills as bad as I did.
I don't trust Konami at this point. Even if it is a joint production, I don't trust them.
I wouldn't even want it to be joint production. I would just want them to just give the rights to Kojima Productions and just let them do it. If
they could, absolutely. But
well, they could license it out.
I don't. I was just thinking the other day, 2018. Never mind. The last few years have been kind of shit for like anything Guillermo del Toro related. Like, he's had some really, really bad luck.
Yeah, this was the first game. Yeah, Death Stranding was the first video game he's involved in that actually got released.
Yeah, that fucking Silent Hills fucked up. They fucked him on
Insane
Hellboy.
And Hellboy as well, yeah.
And thank God that movie did not make any goddamn money. And Pacific Rim 2 ended up being a total shit show.
Yeah. But no, I am genuinely hoping that they do license it out to Kojima's team. I think that would be a wise idea. You know, Silent Hill, the only thing I would request from Kojima is bring back Akira Yamaoka. Seriously. One thing that we need to quash is Kojima is not... I wouldn't say he was responsible for Konami to be in their position post Metal Gear Solid 5. They cut his funding. That's part of the reason as to why Metal Gear Solid 5 ends so abruptly. Is because of Konami doing it to him. You know, they basically... It was the first game where they really started shafting him. If you listen to the stories on it, like, it's pretty horrifying of how they fucked Kojima over. Like, I would hope, even though Matt McMuscles is kind of a dipshit, I would hope that he would do a what happened on Metal Gear Solid 5. Just to talk, like, even though Metal Gear Solid 5 is a good game, to talk about the ending and why it was cut short. So, alright, let's go ahead and move on to our final topic, the juicy topic, that we only have 5 minutes for. Well, we got a little more time than that. We can go 10 minutes. So, Hatman, tell me, what exactly is going on with Last Jedi regrets from John Boyega and company?
So, apparently, they really didn't like The Last Jedi. There's a lot of defense now saying, "Oh, well, they're just making comments saying like, oh, well, they really just liked JJ. They were glad JJ was back as a director, and they didn't hate Rian Johnson." And then you got John Boyega basically saying, "I was super upset with what they did with Finn in The Last Jedi, and I watched The Force Awakens and was like, yo, I want to know where that shit is going." And The Last Jedi didn't solve any of that. And like, yeah, they kind of fucked Finn up in The Last Jedi. They did my boy pretty poor. Fuck that shit. And Daisy Ridley said, when they heard JJ was coming back as a director, like she cried. She literally cried happy tears.
Yeah, well, Rian Johnson fucking sucks.
He fucked up a narrative to the point where now, like, I'm trying to stay optimistic about the rise of Skywalker, but I think that Rian Johnson wrote the sequel trilogy into such a tight corner that it's basically impossible to find a way out of it that's satisfying.
Yes.
It's just, oh fucking God. And I'm glad now, like, people are actually coming out, especially people who are involved with it, are coming out and saying, yeah, it sucked, in the best ways that they can, of course, because I'm sure they're contractually obligated to not speak any direct ill, at least, of the movie or of Rian Johnson, much like, all the Game of Thrones actors who were biting their tongues about, the last season. But it is nice, and it's also entertaining to see the damage control too, like J.J. Abrams talking about how it was really, really hard to come up with a way to get out of The Last Jedi, and then saying later on, actually, Rian Johnson didn't do much to that spited my own plans. Like, fucking, that's such a PR answer.
Yeah, it really is. Look, when it comes right down to it, Rian Johnson fucked the dog. He really did with The Last Jedi.
He really did.
Finn was going into the Force Awakens. Who was the one character everybody was curious about? It was Finn. He had the most interesting story.
Yeah.
Because he had a similar story to that of Han Solo and that of Kyle Katarn, in the sense of he was an Imperial officer, or in this case, a stormtrooper. So he was a foot soldier turning on the Empire. Like, that's compelling stuff. It's a lot more compelling than random girl out in the desert. And I honestly think that, again, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, I think that both Finn and Rey should have been Force sensitive, not just her. I think Finn should. I think she should have been the Ubermensch, or, well, not that, but she should have been the naturally gifted one. He should have been the workhorse, and he's got to work really, really hard at everything he does. He kind of the blue collar hero, but he could have done that so well. And I liked Finn in it, like the lightsaber fight with
he was the most entertaining character.
Yeah, the most memorable stuff is with him. Well, aside from Han dying, but it's like the lightsaber fight against TR-8R, and then that was cool because you never saw a stormtrooper with that kind of weaponry before, at least not in a film. You see it in the games. And then when he, despite the fact that he knows he'll probably lose, when he gets into a lightsaber fight with Kylo Ren, that was cool. That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Like, he really was the one character that was most interesting coming out of it. Like, and then he just becomes such an afterthought. It sucks. I feel for him. I really do. You know, I
Yeah,
really, really,
me
really
too. I
do.
mean, it's such a poor situation, and I know I've said it before, either on the show or on the Overflow. I still think the best storyline they could have done with the sequel trilogy was, like you said, make Finn and Rey force sensitive. You know, make him have to come to terms with the fact that Rey is naturally gifted and he has to work for everything. Make Rey like of some kind of noble blood. You still get your nobody is a force wielder story, and I was just discussing with a friend of mine yesterday. Probably the best way to end the second movie of the trilogy, have Rey turn to the dark side, have her actually join Kylo Ren,
Yeah.
and then have Finn make it his mission to turn her back. He's like, I am going up against the two strongest force sensitives in the galaxy right now, and I know I don't stand a chance against them, but I would be wrong to not try.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, fucking, that would have been a much more entertaining movie, and that would have been insurmountable odds, or at least it would have seemed that way. Fuck it, Disney. We were trying to save Star Wars for you.
Yeah. I honestly am of the belief that they should have put this movie on hold and just said, "Yeah, The Last Jedi is not canon, so we're gonna redo it."
Redo it, yeah. Well, the only thing is, they don't have Carrie Fisher anymore.
Yeah, that is sad, but that's the saddest part is that the last the last movie that Carrie Fisher was like in and alive to see premiere is the worst Star Wars film of all time. Fuck you, Rian Johnson. So
Yeah, that's right. She was. She died like right after it came out.
yeah,
Or no, no, she died before because she was in the credits for it.
that's right.
She died the year before it came out.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Fuck Rian Johnson.
God rest Carrie Fisher's soul.
Indeed. All right. Well, it is time. Time for the Q&A. Or should we do the cringe first?
Let's do Q&A first. And August Whisper had a question that was in the overflow, but we didn't answer or wasn't part of our document for it.
What was the question?
So, don't know. August Whisper, post the overflow question that we didn't get to.
Yep, we'll answer that right now.
We owe you.
You get
Yep.
first pickings.
Yep, we owe you. As we go to silence. Don't you just love that delay?
Yeah. Well, while we wait for him to post it, Holy Ninja asks thoughts on Hellblade 2. I didn't actually see the trailer for it, so I don't have a thought yet.
Okay, so Shenmue 3 has apparently flopped, not including digital sales.
Yeah.
Does this pertain to the IP not being popular anymore, or it being an Epic Game Store exclusive?
A little bit of both.
I would say the latter, because once they announced that it was an Epic Game Store exclusive and they were screwing over their Kickstarter backers, a lot of people just flipped their shit.
Yeah, I didn't even redeem my code for it.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason why. They just they fucked the dog too.
Yeah, indeed.
So.
All right.
So, Honest Whisper, you do get another question too, since that's last week's.
Yep. Okay. Nothing else in the Discord as of right now, but I'll keep my eye on it.
There was some in the Discord.
There was one. It was the Hellblade question. Oh wait, never mind.
No.
You're right. So Hardboiled Entertainment says you didn't save any helium from your birthday, did you? I didn't get any in the first place. Not the last one wants to know what are both of our theme park attractions if we have any. I am a big fan of Universal Studios roller coasters.
The Incredible Hulk and the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man are great fucking rides at Universal Studios Florida. I'm not really huge on the Harry Potter rides there because they're like wannabe Spider-Man rides, but Spider-Man did it way better. Disney I have the most experience with, so just rattling some off between Disneyland and Disney World. Matterhorn bobsleds, Space Mountain, the Disneyland version. I haven't ridden Hyperspace Mountain, so I'm going with the old school. With that, Star Tours is awesome. Rock and Roller Coaster is awesome. The Tower of Terror is really cool. Expedition Everest, specifically the Expedition Everest when the Yeti was moving. I hope that they fix that fucking thing because that effect was awesome. Now it's not as good. And fuck. There's one more. Mission Space in Epcot is fucking awesome.
There you go. Let's see here. Aurelius wanted to know. Yeah, there were a lot in here I missed. Have we heard of the book Shadow of the Conqueror? I can't say that I have. Let's see here. A Hat wants to know, do you think that part of the hollowness of Christmas is the result of marketing push from people who actually don't celebrate Christmas, rather see it as a shopping sale? Yes. We are very much against the marketing of Christmas as opposed to actually focusing on the fact that Jesus is indeed the reason for the season.
Yeah, so, there's a reason why Black Friday is a thing.
Yeah. We're not big on consumerism like that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for the Discord server. I think I got everything. So let's hit the chat. Samurai Bear says, so RE3 Remake is coming out. What do you think the meme song for Nemesis will be? Something metal or rock and roll? I don't know. I'm wondering if there's a song about melty cheese that we can put for him because he looks fucking stupid.
Biscuit Head by the Spin Doctors.
I'm seriously still unhappy with like how he looks. He looks like he's got a giant like dialysis machine in the middle of his chest. And he's wrapped in trash bags with caution tape.
Oh my god.
He looks so fucking stupid.
Did you hear his new voice?
That was fine. It sounded pretty similar to the old one. So
I kind of like the old one more. It just sounds like he's choking on a brownie in this one.
A little. Let me see if I can still impersonate him pretty well.
Stars.
There you go.
Stars.
That's better.
Looks like he's got a fucking dialysis machine. No, I would go with Biscuit Head by the Spin Doctors because that's
looks
kind
like
of what
shit.
he looks like now.
Yeah,
he looks like a fucking biscuit head.
He looks so fucking stupid. Black Knight Rex says, personally, I think Jill looks like a 2012 Lara Croft ripoff. There's some similarities in the costume, yeah. Because it's very, very, very everyday sort of look. I'm happy that if you buy the game, they give you the retro stuff for free. So I will probably use Jill's retro costume because I don't think that they really need to change it. Well, I can understand changing the miniskirt though, because that you can't really, at least from what I have seen, again being the older brother of several sisters and having been married before, running in a skirt like that would not be easy. It would tear pretty quickly. So jeans are much more apropos.
Wasn't she out on a date during the events of Resident Evil 3?
Yes, and basically the story goes that she goes back to her apartment, packs her things, and takes off her high heels and puts on combat boots.
Yeah.
Just to kind of tell you
now in this one,
just to kind of that tells you so much about Jill's character, though, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Her first reaction when shit goes down, okay, time to get ready for war. She goes home, she puts on her boots, gets ready to kick ass. I love that woman as a character. Seriously,
Jill Valentine, one thing she chooses to change.
Jill Valentine is fucking awesome. Like, let's be honest about something. Resident Evil has some of the best protagonists ever in it. Like, some of the most badass protagonists of all time in it. Like, especially Jill and Chris. Jill and Chris are the shit. You know, I love those two as characters. I would love to see a competently directed Resident Evil film. My vote for director is John McTiernan. Anyway, Asami Ryuji Yamazaki donates $5, says, did y'all by chance cover Don Lemon spurging out over a Trump meme? Obviously, it makes for a great meme in and of itself. We actually did not.
No, we didn't. Oh, man.
So, yeah, we missed that. But that was hilarious. He's like, why are we reporting on this? I'm like, I don't know. Why are you, dumbass? Anyway, let's keep answering questions here. So, Horrible Entertainment says, Henry Cavill often said he wants Man of Steel 2 based on For Tomorrow. How would you like that idea? I like that quite a bit. I like that Cavill does his research. That's one thing I really love about him as an actor, man. And people are like, well, why do you want him as Superman, even though you've got all these gripes with the DCEU? Like, I've never really had, outside of Batfleck, I've never had any issues with the DCEU's casting. It's always been just direction issues, you know. But him as Superman is good. He's a very good Superman.
Yeah.
And he does his research. He gets the character. He really does. He treats Clark Kent as Superman as a guy from Kansas. That's what I love about it. That's what Christopher Reeves did too. And that is how you're supposed to play the character. He's not Jesus. He's a dude from Kansas. So
he's a humble god.
So, but yeah, I like him, and I love how dedicated he is. I like that he also doesn't bitch about staying in shape. He doesn't. He loves to work out. He's honest about the fact he likes to work out. He posts workout videos. He's very proud of what he does. And he encourages other people to work hard too. And that's the kind of guy. He really is a great, great actor. He's one of those actors that you could like tell your kids about and be happy that your daughter wants to find a man like that. You know, like he's really like it's unfortunate he's not an American because he comes across like an all-American sort of actor. That's what's kind of crazy.
He could be James Bond, couldn't he?
He would have been an amazing Bond.
I would go see a Henry Cavill James Bond movie.
Yeah, I would too. Let's see, what else we got here? We got about 7 minutes before I gotta dive into the cringe. So, have we ever watched Penn and Teller bullshit? Especially the episode where they say the Bible is stupid. We do really enjoy bullshit here.
Yes.
Obviously, we didn't agree with that.
Obviously.
I think that and this is the problem with a lot of atheists on television, they didn't really bring in the amount of experts on it that I think would have been appropriate for a discussion.
Right.
Especially given how respectful Penn especially is to Christians nowadays. I have a feeling, though, if they did that episode again, they would probably approach it differently. I think.
Yeah, it'd be very, very different now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember, that was made during the era where edgy atheism was really starting to kick off.
Yeah. I think that if they did it now, it would be very different. I think Penn has been... he's actually an advocate for religious freedom too. He's big time libertarian, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Their gun control episode was easily
amazing,
the best one,
and their one on video games was great too. Plus the one on socialism.
Oh yeah.
I'm not taking pie from you. I'm giving pie to me.
I love it.
We do really like Penn and Teller quite a bit here, so
yes,
yeah, I would shake Penn's hand. I would love to meet him.
Absolutely,
he's a great guy. He's great. So, but yeah, if you're wondering what I mean about Christians, after that episode was done, he posted a video on YouTube talking about a Christian that he met who gave him a Bible, and he basically just was like, yeah, that's a good man, and he basically he said he's like, I don't mind being proselytized to. He's like, if you think I'm going out in front of a bus, I want you to try to get me away from that bus. And he's like, it shows an actual type of concern. And so he's
right.
definitely a very different man than he was when that episode originally went live.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, from what I've heard, they're both amazing guys. So, let's see here. Servant of God 777 says thoughts on Law Twitter is in denial on Vic getting his appeal. Well, I have a feeling that they would be. I knew it was going to go to appeal. It was a very quick decision, and there was evidence presented that was detrimental to the case and could show that there was liability in regards to the defendants, and it was completely ignored. So, yeah. Let's see here. Ooh, here's a good one. Matchstick wants to know, how would you do a Code Veronica remake? Haven't played the game, but I've heard of the story. I find it interesting. Oh, man. That's one. Here's where we're at with Resident Evil right now. First off, they should never remake 4. Ever. 4 is fine. Or 5. 6 could use it. But 4 and 5, don't touch them. They're fine as is. They're modern enough. I don't really think you could do anything to truly modernize those games. Except for like adding move and shoot. That's about it. But and update the graphics. Like that's it. Like you want to add like a badass texture package to Resident Evil 4 someday, go for it. But don't remake it. Do not do that. It's schlocky B-movie action, and I love it. Same with 5. Not to mention 5 has my favorite Resident Evil weapon of all time in the Hydra. Like, definitely don't touch that. But anyway, we're at a point where Resident Evil where there's 2 reasons to remake a game. First is to take an older game that technology and time have sort of left behind and it's not aging well and bring it into the modern day. Or technology upgrade, basically, like with the Twin Snakes and the Resident Evil 1 remake too. Or take a game that had potential and did not reach it, mostly because of technology constraints or mistakes made at the time, and fix those mistakes. In Resident Evil, we're in the latter of the 2 now, because 3 and Code Veronica were not as good as they could have been. Especially Code Veronica. Code Veronica, like, I went back and played it not too long ago. It was not good. I remember I was, when I did Twitch a lot more, like, well, I say a lot more because it's non-existent now. When I did Twitch stuff back in the day, I did a stream of I did a kind of a retrospective of the Resident Evil games. Played like 2 or 3 hours of them, and I quit on Code Veronica early because of how bad it controls. That's a game that if I were to remake it, I would honestly have to start from the ground up in truly remaking the whole fucking thing. So, the storyline, one thing I'm doing immediately, I'm making Steve Burnside less of a shit, because he sucks. Then after that, the level design needs some work, honestly. A lot of the enemies I wouldn't really change that much. I think that the enemy designs are fine. The big thing, though, is that more so than anything, because I'd really have to, it would take me too long to really like go through all the things, is I would bring back the voice actors for Wesker and Chris Redfield, who did them originally, or more famous for them. So Daniel Craig Smith as Chris Redfield. Who's Wesker's voice? I can never remember. Same guy who did
J.C.
Legion.
Carson, I think.
Is it?
I don't know. I want to say it.
DC Douglas.
J.C. Douglas, okay.
Because you really want that slimy sort of feel that Wesker has. You know?
Complete global saturation.
Yes, exactly. And not to mention, it's like Roger Craig Smith as Chris Redfield is great too. I've had enough of your bullshit. So yeah,
Resident Evil 5 was so dumb, but it was so fun.
yeah, it's a great. It is sort of like Resident Evil if it was Indiana Jones.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Both that and like 4 and 5 really have that sort of vibe to it, and I think it's part of the reason I like them so much. It really embraced the fact that to combat these threats, these characters have to go from basically being horror characters to actual like superheroes, basically. You know. Not to mention the fact that Chris Redfield can punch a grown man in the face and their face explodes is one of the coolest things ever. All right, and final question before we do the cringe. Somebody, Bob Fetta wants to know, how would I write Injustice Superman versus Redeemed Thanos? Well, Thanos wins because Thanos reigns. One thing that I would definitely emphasize would be the this idea of Superman raging against something he cannot change, in which case, you know, that's sort of the the theme behind Injustice Superman, as I say with my Superman shirt on, is that he wants to control everything, and you know this and a redeemed Thanos would know he can't do that, and yeah, it would end up with Superman dead. So, all right, so go ahead and tag Greenbox Boy with your unanswered questions. Like I said, every $25. I'm watching Anime Cringe. I owe 2 clips. If somebody donates 13, I owe a third. So let's go ahead and get this started. So the first one is from Plastic Nissan. I don't know what this is.
What the hell?
I don't know what it
What's
has
the clip?
to do.
I'm curious now.
I don't know what cars have to do with any of this. I'm very confused.
Okay. I see it. I see it in the chat.
One thing I have to ask to who was it who sent this to me? To Chaos Sonic, is this something that I can show in a window so people know what I'm watching?
Let me scrub through it right quick. Yes, you can.
Okay. So hold on, let me get my
You start the
windows.
window.
Let me get my windows oriented, and we'll do it.
I'll join you on this adventure too. So y'all get a bonus Hatman reacts. Because I like you. I like you a lot. And I've also got nothing better to do except clean up my fucking desk.
All right, here we go. Hitting the clip in 3, 2, 1.
ねえ、あれ生徒会の2人じゃない？本当だ。何してんだあいつら。
てめえらよ、人にぶつかっといて謝っただけで済むと思ってんのか？
誠意見せろよ。出すもんあるだろうが。
出すものなんだろう。涙かな。
ふざけんなこら。来いよこら。
ちょっとどうしようあれ。とりあえず交番に電話して人を。そんなもん必要ねえ。私が2分で閉店してきてやんよ。待て待て、閉店ってお前。危ないからよしなさい。
Why does she have a tank on her
二人の
head?
言う通りだ、チビコ。ここは俺に任せておけ。
栗木さん。
Yeah, that
悪
is
い
a
が
good question.
荷
Why does
物
she
を
have a
預かって
tank
く
on
れ
her
るか
head?
い？
ま、警察に通報するのが一番いいけどな。じゃあ止めろよ。もういいよ、私が電話するから。
おらおら、てめえおら、いい加減におら。おら。怖え。おらって言われるの怖え。待てー。そいつらを話してもらおうか。栗木さん。
なんだてめえ、関係ねえだろ。
出すもん出したら返してやるって言ってんだよ。それともてめえが出してくれんのか？出すもん だとさあ出したぜ。なんだ物足りないのか欲張りめ。やるよ欲張りめ。なんだこいつ。まあいいや、こいつも一緒にやっちまうか。
いや待て、よく見ろ、あいつの体。
俺は知っている。お前たちのような不良の心を正すのは努力や友情ではない、無償の愛だ。こんなチャンスはめったにないんだ。逃がさんぞ。
出てきたぞ。ヤッホー。
君の話は矛盾してるな。じゃあその不良はどこ行っちゃったの？
ああ、そうかそうか、あっちか。いいから乗りなさい。
Yeah, that's an appropriate
やっ
response.
たなマキマキ、お
Arrest
手
him.
柄じゃん。うるさいよ。
That is funny.
What the
That's
fuck was
great.
that?
That's great. That's what it is.
I just...
That's great.
I have nothing. I have nothing after that. Alright, apparently after that, it's, something from My Hero Academia.
Oh God.
What is this? Mount Lady and Midnight Fight. Unless it's mud wrestling, I have a feeling this is going to be weird.
I don't know.
Just like the attention. What's with you, lady? Are you trying to start a fight? Of course not. I look up to you. I think you're amazing. For someone of your age. You can act like the blushing ingenue all you want, but you're not that young yourself, you know.
All I'm saying is if the older pros try too hard, then the rest of us have to go even further!
Thank you!
I get it! I don't get it!
For context, Midnight is 31 and Mount Lady is 24. So neither of them are especially old. I still don't get it.
Yeah. So that was a thing. Well, I think that brings us to the end. I have a feeling we're going to have quite a few questions for the overflow, which is good. I love entertainment questions anyway. So
now we can make Micah watch JoJo memes. Pretty sure
Yeah.
you do that in your spare time.
yeah, kind of. But anyway, we do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for everybody who donated. We'll go through the list real quick. Asami Ryuji Yamazaki, Serena, Chaos Sonic, Darth Bobcat, Holy Ninja Toe, Not the Last One, and Southie98. Thank you to all of you. And yeah, this has been quite a bit of fun, to say the least, despite the insanity. But hey.
Yeah, it's in spite of it, yeah.
Yeah, I can live with the insanity. So, all right. Well, any final words, Hatman?
I have a feeling that next week's cringe is going to be really, really bad. Because now people are getting ideas.
Well, I pay for embarrassment. What can I say? So, on that note, we are going to go ahead and take off. My name is Micah Curtis, your favorite vanilla gorilla.
And I'm Alex Baldwin. Make Istanbul Constantinople again.
Indeed. We'll see you guys next week.
Like a Turkish
Deus
delight.
Fault.
Deus Fault.